Have you ever experienced that specific, terrifying moment right when you wake up? I am talking about that split second where you transition from the peaceful oblivion of sleep back into your body. For a brief moment you are free, and then suddenly it hits you. There is a physical sensation of a heavy, invisible weight pressing down directly on your chest. The day has not even begun. You have not spoken a single word. You have not stepped a foot out of bed. Yet, you feel as though you are already late, already behind, and already losing a battle that you did not even agree to fight. This is not just tiredness, and it is not just the need for more sleep. This is something far deeper and far more dangerous. You open your eyes, and before a single thought of hope or gratitude can enter your mind, an invisible list unrolls itself before you like a scroll of judgment. It is a mental inventory of everything that is wrong, everything that is missing, and everything that threatens your peace. You think of the bills that are due on Friday. You think of the conflict you had at work 3 days ago. You think of the responsibilities that are piling up like a mountain you have to climb without any equipment. These problems are not even happening in this present moment. They are ghosts of the past or phantoms of the future, yet they storm into your bedroom and demand your attention with the urgency of a fire alarm. You feel a distinct knot form in the pit of your stomach. It is a tightness, a constriction that signals your body to enter a state of emergency. Without you even realizing it, your physical posture changes under the sheets. Your muscles tense up. Your jaw clenches. Your breathing becomes shallow. You are lying in a soft bed in a safe room, but your biology is reacting as if you are standing naked on a battlefield. You are preparing to defend yourself against your own life. You are preparing to survive your day rather than live it. This defensive posture is the default setting for millions of people. We have been conditioned to believe that life is hard, that life is a struggle, and that we must fight for every scrap of happiness we get. So we wake up with our armor on. We wake up with our shields raised, expecting the blow, expecting the bad news, expecting the difficulty. And because life is a faithful mirror, because life gives us exactly what we prepare for, we usually find exactly the battle we were dressing for. I know this feeling intimately because I lived inside this prison for years. I thought this sensation of dread was normal. I thought that to be an adult meant to be worried. I thought that waking up with a heavy heart was just the price of being alive in a chaotic world. I would wake up exhausted, live my day in a state of low-grade anxiety, go to sleep worrying about tomorrow, and then repeat the cycle. It felt like I was running on a treadmill that was moving slightly faster than my legs could carry me. But the tragedy is not just the feeling itself. The tragedy is what we do to try and escape it. In an attempt to numb this heaviness, we reach for the most accessible drug of the modern age. We reach for the phone. It is an automatic reflex. Your eyes are barely focused. Your mind is still foggy, but your hand knows exactly where to go. You turn on that screen and you invite the entire world into your bed. You begin to scroll. You look at images of people you barely know, or perhaps people you know too well. You see their vacations. You see their new cars. You see their smiling families and their apparent effortless success. You see a curated, filtered version of reality that looks light, abundant, and happy. And then, you look at your own reality. You look around at your dark room. You feel the knot in your stomach. You think about your bank account, and the comparison destroys you. A silent, poisonous voice begins to whisper in the back of your mind. It asks, why is it so easy for them and so hard for me? Why am I stuck here while they are moving forward? Is there something wrong with me? Will I ever get out of this hole? You do not say these words out loud because they are too painful to admit, but you feel them. You feel them as a vibration of lack. You feel them as a frequency of unworthiness. You drink this poison before you have even had a glass of water. This act of comparison is an act of violence against your own spirit. By looking at what others have and focusing on what you lack, you are digging a pit for yourself to fall into. You are validating the heavy weight on your chest. You are telling your subconscious mind that yes, the world is unfair, and yes, you are a victim of it. You feel like life has been generous to everyone else but somehow forgot your address. It is a heavy, lonely feeling. It is the feeling of being left behind by the train of prosperity. But I want you to pause and really look at this situation. Is it true? Is the world really attacking you, or is there something else happening? The truth is that what you are feeling when you wake up is not a premonition of the future. It is a memory of the past. That heavy feeling is a chemical residue. It is a biological programming. Your body has become addicted to the chemistry of stress. You have worried for so many days in a row that your body now wakes up and demands its fix of anxiety. It is a cycle. You think a stressful thought, which produces stress hormones. Your body feels the stress, which signals the brain to think more stressful thoughts. You are caught in a loop of your own making. Most people believe that they are observing their reality, but in truth, they are projecting their reality. When you wake up and engage with that list of worries, when you scroll through that phone and feel envious, you are projecting a signal out into the universe. You are broadcasting a signal that says, I am not enough, I am afraid, and I am expecting a fight. And the universe, which is neutral and obedient, simply says, agreed. It then arranges the events of your day to match the frequency you have set. You encounter rude people. You hit traffic. You receive unexpected bills. And you say to yourself, see, I knew today would be hard, but you did not just know it. You created it. You created it in those first few minutes of consciousness when you chose fear over faith. This is difficult to admit because it means taking total responsibility. It is much easier to blame the economy, or the government, or our family, or our job for that heavy feeling in our chest. But blaming the outside world renders us powerless. If the source of your pain is out there, then the solution is out there, and you have to wait for the world to change before you can feel light. But if the source of that heavy weight is your own mental programming, then you have the power to change it. You are not broken. You are not doomed. You are simply running an old, corrupted software program that starts playing automatically the moment you boot up your system in the morning. We treat this morning anxiety as if it is a necessary part of being responsible. We think that if we worry enough about our problems, we will somehow solve them. But worry is not preparation. Worry is the misuse of imagination. When you lie in bed and imagine all the things that could go wrong, you are using the divine creative power of your mind to create a hell instead of a heaven. You are rehearsing failure. You are practicing disaster. And just like an athlete who practices bad form, you become an expert at suffering. The desire you feel to change this, the desire to wake up feeling light, excited and abundant, is not a foolish fantasy. That desire is a holy signal. It is the life force within you trying to tell you that there is another way to live. The part of you that is tired of the struggle is the part of you that knows you were not made for struggle. You were made for flow. You were made for expansion. The heaviness you feel is simply the friction caused by living against your true nature. It is the friction of trying to force outcomes, trying to control people, and trying to manipulate reality through sheer effort and fear. So, let us be clear about the diagnosis. The problem is not your life. The problem is not your circumstances. The problem is that you are starting your day on the defensive. You are starting your day by reacting to the past instead of creating the future. You are letting the world dictate your internal state. You are giving away your power before you even brush your teeth. You are functioning as a thermometer that just reflects the temperature of the room instead of a thermostat that sets the temperature. This weight on your chest is simply energy that has been misdirected. It is your own power, turned against you by the habit of fear. And today, we are going to learn how to turn that power back in the right direction. We are going to stop the momentum of that heavy stone, and we are going to learn how to roll it away. To liberate yourself from this morning heaviness, we must move beyond merely describing the symptom and start understanding the machinery that creates it. You are not a random biological accident floating through a chaotic universe. You are a highly sophisticated instrument of creation. The reason you feel stuck in a loop of anxiety and lack is not because the machine is broken. It is because the machine is working perfectly, but it is being operated with the wrong manual. You are getting exactly what you are programming, even if you do not realize you are programming it. To take back command of your morning and your life, we must look at the blueprint of your own consciousness. Florence Scovel Shinn provided us with the clearest map of this territory. She taught that the mind of man is not a single entity, but is divided into 3 distinct departments. These are the subconscious, the conscious, and the superconscious. Understanding the relationship between these 3 is the difference between living as a victim and living as a master. The trap you fall into every morning is simply a misunderstanding of how these 3 parts interact. Let us begin with the subconscious. This is the vast, silent engine room of your life. Imagine the subconscious mind like steam in a boiler or electricity in a wire. It is immense power without direction. It has no ability to reason. It has no sense of humor. It does not know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. If you watch a terrifying movie, your heart races and your palms sweat because your subconscious believes the danger is real. It is a faithful servant, but it is a blind servant. It will manifest exactly what it is impressed with. If you impress it with success, it will move mountains to bring you success. But if you impress it with fear, it will work just as hard to bring you disaster. It does not judge. It only executes. Then there is the conscious mind. This is the part of you that is listening to me right now. It is the reasoning mind, the intellect. It sees life as it appears to be. It looks at your bank account and sees the low number. It looks at the mirror and sees the aging face. It reads the news and sees the chaos. The conscious mind is the driver of the vehicle, and its job is to look out the window and give instructions to the engine. The problem is that for most of you, the driver is drunk on fear. The conscious mind looks at the lack in your life and screams in terror. The subconscious hears that scream, accepts it as an order, and produces more lack. This is the first part of the trap. You use your conscious mind to observe your problems, which only instructs your subconscious to create more of them. But there is a third department, one that most people completely ignore. This is the superconscious mind. This is the realm of perfect ideas. This is the divine design. Within your superconscious, there is a perfect picture of your life. There is a version of you that is healthy, wealthy, fully expressed, and completely free. This is where your intuition comes from. Have you ever had a sudden flash of a great idea? A sudden feeling that everything would be okay? That was a telegram from your superconscious. It is the realm of the impossible made possible. The tragedy of the human condition is that we block the superconscious because we are too busy jamming the lines of communication with our conscious worries. Now, let us apply this to your morning. Why does that heavy feeling return every single day? Florence used a powerful metaphor that is even more relevant today. She called the subconscious mind a sensitive phonograph record. Every word you speak, every deep emotion you feel, cuts a groove into that record. If you have spent the last 10 years worrying about money, complaining about your job, and doubting your worth, you have cut a very deep, very loud groove into the sensitive plate of your subconscious. When you go to sleep, the machine pauses. But the moment you wake up, the needle drops right back into that same old groove. That heavy feeling on your chest is simply the song playing. It is the song of your past. You wake up and you think you are having a new feeling about a new day. You are not. You are simply hearing the playback of yesterday's frustration and last year's fear. The subconscious is simply doing its job. It says to you that since we worried yesterday, we must worry today. It replays the chemistry of anxiety before you even have a reason to be anxious. You are trapped in a recording. This leads us to the mechanism that locks this trap in place. Florence called it the game of boomerangs. She said that the game of life is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy. This is not just a poetic metaphor. It is a law of physics. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only return to its source. Every morning, when you lie in bed and engage with those heavy thoughts, you are throwing a boomerang. You throw a boomerang of, "I am tired." The universe catches it and throws back a day filled with exhaustion. You throw a boomerang of, "I don't have enough money." The universe catches it and throws back an unexpected bill or a lost opportunity. You throw a boomerang of "people are annoying." The universe catches it and throws back a rude driver or a difficult coworker. And here is the devastating part. When that boomerang comes back and hits you in the face, you use your conscious mind to look at it and say, "See, I was right to be worried." You use the result of your own thinking to justify doing more of the same thinking. It is a closed loop. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy that tightens like a noose around your neck. The trap is effective because of the element of time. If you touched a hot stove, you would pull your hand away immediately because the pain is instant. You learn the lesson. But with the mind, there is a delay. The boomerang you throw in the morning might not hit you until the afternoon. The boomerang of fear you threw last month might just be arriving today. Because there is a gap between the thought and the manifestation, you do not connect the two. You think you are a victim of bad luck. You think you are a victim of circumstances. You do not realize that you are the victim of your own mental emanations. We must understand that the subconscious mind is a cannibal. It will eat whatever you feed it. If you feed it a mental diet of resentment, it will consume your happiness. If you feed it a mental diet of poverty, it will consume your resources. It is always hungry, and it is always working. It never sleeps. Even while you are resting, your subconscious is arranging the events of your tomorrow based on the orders you gave it today. This is why waking up with that heavy chest is so dangerous. It means your subconscious has been working all night on a blueprint of stress. But here is the good news. If the subconscious is a record, then a record can be changed. You can scratch the old record. You can record a new song. If the subconscious is a steam engine, it does not care if it is driving a train toward a cliff or toward a paradise. It just provides the power. The steering wheel is in your hands. The trap only works as long as you are asleep at the wheel. The moment you understand that you are the operator, the victimhood vanishes. You realize that the heaviness is not a life sentence. It is just a signal that the engine is currently running in reverse. We have been taught to believe that seeing is believing. We wait to see the money before we feel wealthy. We wait to see the health before we feel grateful. But the mechanics of the mind work in the exact opposite direction. Believing is seeing. You must feel the truth of the superconscious before the subconscious can produce it. You have to ignore the evidence of the conscious mind, which tells you that you are broke and tired, and you must dare to tune into the station of the superconscious. The game of life is played in the darkroom of the mind. You are developing the pictures of your future right now. If you do not like the movie that is playing on the screen of your life, it is useless to yell at the screen. You have to change the film in the projector. That heavy chest, that anxiety, that fear of the day ahead is simply the old film reel spinning. We are here to stop the reel. We are here to break the old record. We are here to learn how to throw a boomerang of such power, faith, and expectation that when it returns to us, it brings an avalanche of blessings that we cannot even contain. Understanding this mechanism removes the fear. You are no longer fighting demons. You are simply adjusting machinery. You are no longer battling fate. You are correcting your alignment. The heavy weight you feel is just energy waiting for a command. Up until now, you have been commanding it to crush you. But starting today, we are going to command it to lift you up. You have the power to impress the subconscious with a new pattern, a pattern drawn from the perfection of the superconscious, bypassing the fears of the conscious mind. This is the key. This is the way out of the trap. And now that you understand the machine, you are ready to learn how to operate it. Now that we have diagnosed the heaviness in your chest as a biological addiction to stress, and we have exposed the mechanics of the mind as a machine that blindly reproduces your past instructions, we arrive at the pivotal moment of transformation. We have analyzed the trap, but analysis alone does not set you free. Action sets you free. We must now install a new operating system into your consciousness. You might be expecting a complex solution. We are conditioned to believe that big problems require big, difficult answers. You might think, I am going to tell you to wake up at 4 a.m., run 10 miles, meditate for an hour, and journal until your hand cramps. I will tell you no such thing. The most powerful spiritual technologies are always the simplest because the subconscious mind responds to clarity, not complexity. We are going to rewrite your destiny in 5 minutes. This is not a request, it is a requirement for anyone who wishes to leave the battlefield and enter the playground of life. This ritual is designed to override the default settings of fear and install a direct line of communication with the superconscious mind. It consists of 3 specific steps: the connection, the breath of release, and the command. Tomorrow morning, the moment your eyes open, you will face a choice that defines your entire existence. The old neural pathways will scream at you to pick up your phone. The old chemical addiction will demand that you start worrying about your to-do list. You must stop. Do not move your body. Do not touch that device. Do not let your feet touch the cold floor. Lie perfectly still in the sanctuary of your bed. This is the holy pause where you claim dominion over your day. Step 1 is the heart connection. I want you to take your right hand and place it firmly over the center of your chest, directly over your heart. This is not merely a poetic gesture. It is a biological switch. When you are anxious, your body is in a state of fight or flight, convinced that a tiger is in the room. By placing your warm hand on your heart, you stimulate the vagus nerve and send a powerful signal of safety to your nervous system. You are telling your biological machine that you are safe, that you are present, and that you are in control. Feel the warmth of your palm against your chest. Feel the rhythmic drumbeat of your life. That heartbeat is the rhythm of the universe beating within you. It has not stopped since before you were born. It is loyal. It is constant. By connecting with it, you pull your attention away from the chaotic future and ground it in the absolute now. You cannot rebuild your life from the future. You can only build it from the now. This physical touch bridges the gap between your panicked intellect and your eternal spirit. Step 2 is the breath of release. Remember the phonograph record we discussed? The one that plays the song of yesterday's troubles? We need to clear the static before we can record a new song. You cannot fill a cup that is already full of stale water. You must empty yourself of the old before you can receive the new. With your hands still on your heart, I want you to take a massive, deep inhale through your nose. Visualize that you are inhaling the infinite power of the universe, filling your lungs, your stomach, and your chest with pure, white light. Hold it at the top for a moment. Suspend time. And then exhale through your mouth with a heavy, audible sigh. Let the air fall out of you. In that exhale, you are not just releasing carbon dioxide. You are releasing the ghosts of yesterday. You are breathing out the disappointment of the past decade. You are breathing out the argument you had last week. You are physically casting the burden off your shoulders. The Bible says to cast your burden upon the Lord. In metaphysical terms, this means releasing the weight of the problem from your conscious mind and handing it over to the superconscious. Do this 3 times. Inhale possibility, exhale limitation. Inhale the present, exhale the past. By the 3rd breath, you will feel a physical shift. The heaviness in the chest will begin to dissolve. You have now prepared the soil. You have stopped the old record. Now, in the silence you have created, it is time to cut the new groove. Step 3 is the command. This is the most critical part. You are not going to wish for a good day. You are not going to hope for money. You are going to issue a decree. Kings and queens do not ask. They decree. You are the monarch of your own world, and your word is your wand. We are going to use a specific affirmation inspired by Florence Scovel Shinn, engineered to bypass the doubts of your conscious mind and trigger an immediate response from the universe. With your hand on your heart and your body relaxed, speak these words, either silently or in a whisper, but with total conviction. All that is mine by divine right is now released and reaches me in great avalanches of abundance, under grace in miraculous ways. Let us dissect this command so you understand the power you are wielding. When you say, all that is mine by divine right, you are acknowledging that there is already a perfect plan for your life, stored in the superconscious. You are not trying to steal blessings that belong to others. You are not begging for scraps. You are simply claiming what was designed for you since the beginning of time. It is your inheritance. It has your name on it. It is waiting for you to claim it. When you say is now released, you are acknowledging that the only thing holding it back was your own fear and doubt. By speaking this, you are breaking the dam. You are removing the mental blocks. You are opening the floodgates. You are declaring that the waiting period is over. The time is not tomorrow. The time is not one day. The time is now. When you say reaches me in great avalanches of abundance, you are setting the scale of your reception. Most people ask for a trickle. They ask for just enough to get by. Do not insult the universe with small requests. You ask for an avalanche. An avalanche cannot be stopped. An avalanche changes the landscape. You are commanding that your good comes to you in such massive quantities that you cannot miss it. It overwhelms your problems. It buries your scarcity. When you say, under grace, this is the secret code. This is the clause that saves you from struggle. To receive something under grace means you do not have to fight for it. It means you do not have to manipulate people or work yourself into the ground to get it. It means it comes easily, naturally, and beautifully, like a gift. If you get money but you lose your health, that is not under grace. If you get success but destroy your family, that is not under grace. We want the blessing without the sorrow. Finally, when you say, in miraculous ways, you are releasing the how. The conscious mind is obsessed with how. How will I pay the rent? How will I get the client? That is not your job. Your job is the what. The universe's job is the how. When you declare miraculous ways, you are giving the universe permission to surprise you. The solution might come from a phone call you did not expect, a check in the mail, or a chance meeting on the street. You are opening the door to the infinite intelligence to solve your problems in ways your limited human intellect could never imagine. Repeat this affirmation 3 times. Feel the vibration of the words in your chest. All that is mine by divine right is now released and reaches me in great avalanches of abundance, under grace in miraculous ways. Say it until you feel a click in your mind. Say it until the heavy feeling is replaced by a sensation of excitement. You are sending a new blueprint to the subconscious. You are cutting a new groove of expectation. Instead of expecting a fight, you are now expecting a miracle. This entire ritual takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes to switch from fear to faith. 5 minutes to switch from a victim of circumstances to a master of destiny. When you get out of bed after this ritual, you are not the same person who woke up. You have tuned your instrument. You have set your frequency. You have put on the armor of light. The phone calls, the emails, and the bills may still be there, but you are different. And because you are different, your interaction with them will be different, and the results will change. You have planted the seed of victory before the sun has even fully risen. This is the discipline. This is the work. Do not underestimate the power of these 5 minutes to alter the trajectory of your entire life. You are clearing the channel for the divine design to rush in. You are not just surviving the morning, you are commanding it. This is how the miracle begins. Before we go deeper into the power of your identity, I want to invite you to join our circle of seekers. If you have felt that heavy weight on your chest lift even slightly while listening, that is your sign. You are ready for this new way of living. Please take a second to hit the subscribe button below. By subscribing, you are not just supporting this channel, you are making a commitment to your own spiritual growth. You are telling the universe, I am listening. Join us. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a lesson on how to master the game of life. Now, let's unlock the next secret, the power of who you are. Ivine, right to reach you. You have opened the floodgates. But there is one final, critical component to this morning miracle that determines whether those floodgates stay open or slam shut the moment you walk out the door. We have addressed what you want, but now we must address who you are. The command you just issued is powerful, but its effectiveness depends entirely on the authority of the one speaking it. A command issued by a beggar is ignored. A command issued by a king is obeyed. Therefore, the next step in our morning ritual is the identity shift. We must fundamentally alter the way you define yourself in the eyes of the universe. This brings us to the 2 most powerful words in the human language, words that have shaped civilizations and altered history. Those words are, I am. These are not just words of grammar, they are words of creation. In the study of metaphysics and ancient spiritual law, I am is considered the name of the creative power itself. It is the engine of manifestation. Whatever word or phrase you attach to the end of I am becomes a law for your life. You are constantly defining your reality with these 2 words, usually without even realizing the damage you are doing. Think about your typical morning. You wake up and the first thing you say to yourself is, I am tired, I am late, I am stressed, I am broke, I am overwhelmed. Do you understand what you are doing? You are using the power of God within you to legislate failure. You are signing a contract with exhaustion. You are signing a contract with poverty. When you say, I am tired, you are commanding your subconscious mind to suppress your energy levels. You are ordering your cells to feel fatigue. You are not describing your reality. You are prescribing it. You are the doctor writing a prescription for poison and then wondering why you feel sick. This is accidental misuse of your spiritual power, but the law does not care if it is accidental. The law works with mathematical precision. To deepen this practice, we must consciously seize control of the I am. Immediately after you have declared your divine right, you must redefine your identity. You must tell the universe who has just shown up to play the game. You are not a victim. You are not a struggler. You are a vessel of power. With your hand still connected to your heart, I want you to speak the following identity affirmation. Feel the weight of it. Say, I am an irresistible magnet for all that belongs to me by divine right. I am divinely supported. I am divinely protected. I am divinely directed. Let us analyze the mechanics of this. When you say I am an irresistible magnet, you are changing your vibration from one of chasing to one of attracting. Most people spend their lives chasing success, chasing money, chasing love. When you chase something, it runs away. That is the nature of the game, but a magnet does not chase. A magnet simply is. It sits still and draws the iron to itself by the virtue of its own nature. By declaring yourself a magnet, you are telling your subconscious to stop striving and struggling and instead to generate a magnetic field of confidence and expectation. You are aligning yourself with the flow of good. When you say, "I am divinely directed," you are solving the problem of confusion. How many mornings do you wake up not knowing what to do, paralyzed by indecision? By claiming divine direction, you are installing a GPS system for your day. You are affirming that the right ideas, the right words, and the right turns will be given to you at the exact right moment. You stop relying solely on your limited, anxious human intellect, and you tap into the infinite intelligence of the superconscious. This identity shift takes you out of the role of the orphan and places you in the role of the heir. Now that we have established who you are, we must give your subconscious a specific blueprint to work on. This leads us to the technique of visualization, or what I like to call digging the ditches. There is an ancient story that perfectly illustrates this principle. 3 kings were in the desert with their armies, and they were dying of thirst. There was no water, no rain, and no hope. They called upon a prophet for help. The prophet did not give them water. He gave them an instruction. He said, "Make this valley full of ditches." He told them that they would not see wind and they would not see rain, yet the valley would be filled with water. Think about the logic of this. They were dying of thirst, weak and exhausted, and they were told to grab shovels and dig holes in the dry sand under the burning sun. It made no sense to the conscious mind. Why dig a ditch for water that isn't there? But this is the supreme law of faith. You must prepare the vessel before the blessing can arrive. The water represents the abundance and the solution you need. The ditch represents your capacity to receive it. If the rain had come and they had not dug the ditches, the water would have simply rushed over the hard ground and disappeared. They had to create a space for the miracle to settle. Your imagination is the shovel. Every morning, you must dig your ditches. You must actively prepare your mind for the good that is coming, even if you see no sign of it yet. This is not about daydreaming or escaping reality. This is spiritual engineering. You are creating a mold for the substance of the universe to fill. If you wake up and expect a bad day, you are filling your valley with stones. You are blocking the flow. But if you wake up and visualize success, you are digging a deep, wide channel for the water to flow into. So, how do you do this in your 5-minute ritual? After you have spoken your I am affirmation, close your eyes for 60 seconds. I want you to visualize your day going perfectly. Do not just think about it vaguely. See it. Dig the ditch. See yourself driving to work with green lights and a feeling of ease. See yourself walking into the office with a smile, handling problems with grace. See that difficult conversation you are dreading, but visualize it ending with a handshake and a solution. See the money you need sitting in your bank account. Feel the relief of the bill being paid. Hear the voice of your friend sharing good news. When you do this, you are tricking the subconscious mind in the most beautiful way. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between a real event and a vividly imagined one. When you visualize the victory before the battle begins, your subconscious registers it as a fact. It says, "Oh, I see. We are successful today. We are wealthy today. We are calm today." And once it accepts that instruction, it will adjust your body language, your tone of voice, and your decision-making to match that picture. You will find yourself saying the right thing without thinking. You will find yourself being in the right place at the right time. Why? Because you dug the ditch. You prepared the way. This practice destroys the habit of worrying ahead. Most people visualize every morning, but they visualize disaster. They play out arguments in the shower that haven't happened yet. They imagine being fired. They imagine getting sick. They are digging graves instead of ditches. You must stop using your imagination as a weapon against yourself. You must use it as a tool for construction. I am is the power. Visualization is the mold. When you combine the authority of your identity with the precision of your imagination, you become unstoppable. You are no longer a leaf blowing in the wind of circumstance. You are the wind. You are the architect of the day. This creates a state of active faith. Passive faith sits and hopes something good will happen. Active faith grabs a shovel and starts digging, knowing that the rain is inevitable. When you finish this visualization, you will feel a shift in your chemistry. The dread will be gone. The heaviness will be replaced by a vibrating sense of expectancy. You will actually look forward to the day because you want to see how the universe fills the ditches you just dug. You will walk out your door, not as a survivor, but as a creator. You have defined yourself as a magnet. You have defined the day as a miracle. And because life is a game of boomerangs, because the world is a mirror, it has no choice but to reflect back to you the power and the beauty that you have generated from within. This is the secret. This is the work. And it is yours to do every single morning. We have now armed you with the ritual, the identity, and the vision. But I am not naive, and neither are you. I can hear the whisper of the skeptic in the back of your mind. It is a reasonable voice. It asks the hard questions. It says, but what if I do all of this? I breathe, I affirm, I visualize, and the day still goes wrong. What if the bill collector still calls? What if my car still breaks down? What if I do the work and the silence from the universe is deafening? These are the questions that destroy faith before it even has a chance to take root. We must address this head-on because this is where the amateur falls away and the master is born. This leads us to the most difficult, yet most liberating spiritual law of all, the law of non-resistance. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us a truth that is contrary to everything human instinct tells us. She said, man only gets what he resists. Let that sink in. We are taught to fight our problems. We are taught to wrestle with our demons. We are taught that if we hate a situation enough, if we worry about it enough, we will somehow push it away. But the metaphysical law works in reverse. When you resist a situation, when you hate it, when you fear it, you are feeding it. You are giving it your attention, and attention is energy. By fighting the bad day, you are actually clamping it to yourself with handcuffs of steel. So, what happens when you do your morning ritual? You walk out the door feeling great, and then reality hits you in the face. Someone is rude to you. You spill coffee on your shirt. You get an email with bad news. The old you would react. The old you would scream, see, this doesn't work. I knew it was too good to be true, and in that moment of reaction, you destroy everything you built in the morning. You dig up the seeds you just planted to see if they are growing. And by doing so, the master does something different. The master practices non-resistance. When a challenge arises, the master looks at it and says, none of these things move me. This does not mean you are passive. It does not mean you let people walk all over you. It means you refuse to let the external world dictate your internal state. You refuse to give the problem your emotional blood. You say to the situation, you have no power to disturb my peace unless I give you that power, and today I am keeping my power. Imagine you are driving and you hit a red light. You are late. The old reaction is to grip the steering wheel, curse the traffic, and spike your cortisol levels. You are resisting the reality of the red light. Does your anger turn the light green? No. It only poisons your body and ruins your mood. Non-resistance means you look at the red light and say, this too is part of the divine design. Perhaps this delay is protecting me from an accident ahead. Perhaps this pause is exactly what I need. You relax your hands, you breathe, you stay in the flow, and remarkably, when you stop fighting the traffic, the way often clears. When you stop fighting the debt, ideas for income start to flow. Resistance creates a dam. Non-resistance opens the channel. This brings us to the subtle but deadly distinction between trusting and begging. Many of you think you are doing the morning ritual, but you are actually just begging in a fancy disguise. You say the affirmations, but underneath the words, there is a vibration of desperate need. You are checking the mail every 5 minutes. You are checking your bank account every hour. You are looking for signs with a magnifying glass. This is not faith. This is anxiety dressed up as spirituality. Let me give you a parable to explain this. Imagine you go to a restaurant and you order a steak. You give the waiter your order. That is the command. That is the ritual. Now, do you follow the waiter into the kitchen? Do you stand over the chef and scream, "Are you sure you're cooking it?" I don't see it yet. Is it coming? No. You sit back. You drink your water. You talk to your friends. You are relaxed. Why? Because you know the kitchen is working. You have confidence in the system. You are acting as if the meal is already yours, even though the table is currently empty. Begging is standing in the kitchen screaming. Trust is sitting at the table waiting. When you finish your morning ritual, you must walk away from it. You must consider the matter settled. If you keep asking the universe, "Where is it? Why isn't it here?" you are essentially telling the universe, "I don't believe you heard me." And the universe reflects that doubt back to you as a delay. The Bible says, "When you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them." Notice the tense. Believe that you receive them, present tense, and you shall have them, future manifestation. You must accept the truth of it in the spirit before it can show up in the physical. So, when the obstacles come, and they will come, because the old momentum of your past thinking has to run out, do not panic. Treat the obstacles like echoes. If you shout in a canyon, the echo comes back a few seconds later. If you shout, "I am broke" yesterday, the echo of that poverty might show up today. Do not look at the echo and think it is the new reality. Just say, "Ah, that is just the echo of the old me. I am not that person anymore. Let it pass." Do not engage with the echo. Do not argue with the echo. Let it fade into silence. This is the test of your resolve. It is easy to have faith when the sun is shining and the money is flowing. But fair weather faith is useless. You need a faith that can stand in the middle of a storm and say, "I see the clouds, I feel the rain, but I know the sun is behind them, and I am not moving." That is the stance of the conqueror. That is the standstill that the scriptures talk about. Stand still and see the salvation. There will be days when you do the ritual and you feel nothing. You might feel silly. You might feel like you are talking to the wall. Do it anyway. We are not doing this for the tingles. We are doing this to reprogram a biological machine. The athlete trains even when he is tired. The musician practices even when she is uninspired. Consistency is the language of the subconscious. If you only do this on the days you feel good, you are a hobbyist. If you do this on the days you feel like the world is ending, you are a professional creator. And what about the people around you? What about the skeptics in your life who tell you to be realistic? They will tell you that affirmations are nonsense, that you should just accept your lot in life, that you are dreaming too big. Apply the law of non-resistance to them as well. Do not argue with them. Do not try to convert them. Silence is a great protector of power. The Bible says, "See that you tell no man." When you are nurturing a new seed, you do not dig it up to show it to your neighbors. You keep it covered. You keep it safe. Let your results be your argument. When your life transforms, when your face glows with peace, when your abundance overflows, they will ask you what you are doing. Until then, keep your counsel with the divine. You must understand that wealth is not the absence of problems. Wealth is the presence of superior solutions. The person who has mastered this morning miracle still faces challenges, but they face them from a higher altitude. They look down on the maze rather than running inside it. When you are aligned with the divine design, obstacles are not stop signs. They are detour signs pointing to a better route. You stop labeling things as bad. You start asking, what is the blessing hidden in this disguise? So, tomorrow, when the tire goes flat, do not curse. Place your hand on your heart, take a breath, and say, I do not know why this is happening, but I know that I am divinely protected, and this situation will turn to my advantage. Watch how quickly the help arrives. Watch how the tow truck driver might have the exact information you needed for a business deal. Watch how the delay prevents you from being in a worse situation. This is the magic of non-resistance. You turn every stumbling block into a stepping stone. You are building a spiritual muscle. At first, it will be weak. You will react. You will get angry. You will doubt. Forgive yourself instantly and get back on the horse. Do not waste time feeling guilty about slipping. Guilt is just another form of resistance. Just return to the center. Return to the I am. The goal is not perfection. The goal is persistence. The goal is to reduce the time between the problem arising and you returning to your peace. Eventually, that time will become zero. You will see the problem and the solution simultaneously. That is the master state. That is where the miracle lives. Do not be the beggar at the gate of life, asking for a coin. Be the owner of the estate, walking through your own grounds, inspecting your fruit. The ritual you do in the morning is not a plea for help. It is a coronation. You are crowning yourself every single day. And a king does not worry if the peasants are shouting. A king knows his power comes from a source that cannot be threatened by the noise of the world. Trust the process, trust the silence, and most importantly, trust that the work you are doing in the darkroom of your mind is being developed into the picture of your life with absolute certainty. The evidence is coming. Stand still and let it arrive. We have traveled a great distance together in this short time. We began in the darkness of the bedroom, crushed by the invisible weight of the heavy chest, paralyzed by the list of worries, and addicted to the cheap distraction of the phone screen. We have journeyed through the mechanics of the mind, exposing the subconscious as a blind servant and the game of life as a game of boomerangs. We have armed you with the sword of the morning ritual, taught you how to breathe release into your lungs, and shown you how to dig the ditches of expectation with your imagination. Now we arrive at the final threshold. This is the moment where knowledge transforms into wisdom, because knowledge is just information stored in the brain, but wisdom is information applied by the will. You can listen to 1,000 videos like this one, and your life will remain exactly the same if you do not take the final step of embodiment. You are not merely a biological organism struggling to survive on a spinning rock. You are not a victim of your genetics, your upbringing, the economy, or the government. You are a sleeping giant. For too long, you have been hypnotized by the illusion of smallness. You have been told that you are limited, that you are lucky to just get by, and that struggle is noble. That heavy feeling you wake up with is not the weight of the world. It is the weight of your own dormant power, pressing against the small box you have tried to fit yourself into. The anxiety you feel is simply the energy of your own greatness turned inward because it has nowhere else to go. It is time to wake the giant. It is time to snap the chains of the old identity like thread, to have vanished overnight. The circumstances may look identical to how they look today, but the difference must be you. The miracle is not that the mountain moves. The miracle is that the climber changes. When you place your hand on your heart tomorrow, you are making a declaration of war against mediocrity. You are stating that you are no longer available for the narrative of victimhood. You are no longer available for the luxury of self-pity. You are standing up in the center of your own life and taking command of the ship. This is the ultimate choice, and you have to make it every single day. The morning miracle is not a pill you take once. It is a daily coronation. Every sunrise offers you a blank page. You can fill that page with the scratching of old complaints and the ink of new tears, or you can write a masterpiece of divine right. The universe is holding the pen, but you are dictating the words. Do not let your past dictate your future. Your past is a dead thing. It has no power over you unless you drag its corpse into the present moment. Leave the dead to bury the dead. You are alive. You are here. You are the portal through which the infinite intelligence wants to express itself. I want you to understand the magnitude of what we are discussing. We are talking about the alchemy of the human spirit. We are talking about turning the lead of fear into the gold of faith. This is the work that the great masters of history have pointed to. Florence Scovel Shinn, the mystics, the prophets, they all told us the same thing. The kingdom is within. The power is within. The I am is within. You have been looking for the key to the door of abundance out there in the world, trying to force locks and break down walls, when all along the key was hanging around your neck. The key is your word. The key is your specific, intentional focus during those first 5 minutes of the day. Now comes the moment of commitment. It is easy to feel inspired while watching a video. It is easy to nod your head and say yes while the music is playing. But what happens when the video ends? What happens when the silence returns? This is why I am asking you to take a physical action right now. I am asking you to seal this covenant with yourself. I do not want you to just think it. I want you to write it. There is a magic in bringing a thought down from the mental plane and crystallizing it into physical words on a screen. I challenge you to go to the comment section right now. Do not wait. I want you to write the new law of your life. I want you to type these words. I am an irresistible magnet for abundance. When you type those words, you are not just leaving a comment for an algorithm. You are signing a contract with the universe. You are driving a stake into the ground. You are telling your subconscious mind that this is not a drill. You are telling the community of like-minded souls that you are one of them. Imagine if thousands of us write this. Imagine the vortex of energy we create. We are building a digital cathedral of intention. Add your brick to the wall. Declare it. Own it. I am an irresistible magnet for abundance. Let that be the last thing you do today and the first truth you live tomorrow. And do not stop there. The law of circulation states that you cannot keep what you are not willing to give away. If this message has sparked a light in your dark room, if it has lifted even an ounce of that weight from your chest, you have a spiritual obligation to share it. There is someone in your life right now who is suffering. There is someone waking up with a heavy chest, thinking they are broken, thinking they are alone. Be the vessel of their deliverance. Send this video to them. Post it on your social media. Not for my sake, but for the sake of the truth. When you share prosperity consciousness, you multiply it in your own life. You become a river, not a reservoir. The river creates life wherever it flows. The reservoir eventually becomes stagnant. Be the river. As you step forward from this moment, remember that the game of life is played in the mind, but it is won in the heart. You have the tools now. You know the mechanics. You know the trap. You have the ritual. There are no more excuses. The only thing standing between you and the life of your divine design is the discipline to apply what you know. Do not let the skeptic steal your crown. Do not let the echo of the past drown out the voice of the future. Tomorrow morning, when the sun rises, it rises for you. The birds sing for you. The air fills your lungs for you. The entire machinery of the cosmos is conspiring to support the person you decide to be. So decide to be great. Decide to be fearless. Decide to be the master. Place your hand on your heart, breathe in the power of the universe, and speak your word. All that is mine by divine right is now released and reaches me in great avalanches of abundance, under grace in miraculous ways. Take this truth. Lock it in your heart. Walk with your head high, not because of arrogance, but because you know who walks beside you. You are protected, you are guided, you are loved, and you are ready. And it has been my honor to remind you of who you really are. Go now, and let your life be the proof of the law. Speak wisely, for your world is listening. I will see you in the next video. But more importantly, I will see you in the light of your own victory. The morning miracle is yours. Claim it. If this video has served you, if it has given you a tool to fight the darkness, do not leave this exchange unbalanced. Energy must circulate. First, subscribe to the channel. We are building a sanctuary here for those who refuse to live in fear. Second, like this video. This signals the algorithm to send this healing message to someone else who is currently waking up with a heavy heart. Be the instrument of their rescue. And finally, as I asked, leave your I am declaration in the comments. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your subscription. Go now and command your morning.